its staff, management, or sponsors.
Welcome to the wonderful world of wellness with Dr. Andy Mencia. This medical program heard from 7 to 7:30 each Saturday right here on WSBR 740 AM is brought to you by the Adult and Geriatric Center under the medical direction of geriatrician Dr. Andy Mencia.
It's 40 days. Good morning.
Good morning. You know, I love Dr.
Anita,
Mencia.
how much I love to teach you.
You know, I know. Dr. Mencia comes in here. I never know what we're going to talk about, but he comes in. He's the most cheerful, beautiful person. He's all dressed up like he's going to a
Just for you.
Thank you. I love it. For a big ball somewhere. Yesterday, I was at the Trump at Doral with Tiger Woods was there, and it was very fancy. I was there just as media, looking at Stryker. Stryker had a big booth there, and because they were showing that the orthopedic surgeon and what he did for one of the golfers, and so I was there. But the worst thing when I was telling this to Richard, so I drove up to the hotel, and I valeted my car, and I'm leaving, and I had to pay for it. I never paid $40 for a valet car before. I could not believe it.
Because I told you, don't drive that Jaguar there.
No. Everybody.
Drive the Volkswagen.
Listen, I said I'm going to take a cab from now on. I'll take a cab. It would have been cheaper. I have never heard of anything like that. But anyway, that was my big thing for the day. But let's go back to what you want to talk about. So you want to talk about diet.
Tell me about that program you was listening to about the coffee.
About the coffee. I was listening to about how coffee now, everyone seems to be drinking coffee, and they're drinking all different kinds, and I don't know how they decide.
That was on the radio? It
was on the radio yesterday. It was either NPR or South Florida. They were just discussing how people now are looking for all different kinds of coffee, and they'll pay a little bit more. Coffee is the thing. And of course, you come from a background where having a coffee or a tea is part of the social. I mean, it's social.
Absolutely.
It isn't that you have to have coffee.
Yeah, you can have coffee, tea. It's interesting. We had dinner with Dr. Kyle Kimon the other day, excellent podiatrist. And I was telling him about, the coffee that I have in the office with the medicinal purpose that we have. So he came by the office, he tasted, he texted me, he said, my wife and I, we love the coffee, my daughter loved the chocolate. It was really cool. It was really, really nice. And guess one of the spots just joined us, Stonewater on East Oakland Park. They're going to be a distributor for Orlando.
What is Stonewater?
Stonewater is a spa. They do hair, a massage, and they do the nail. It's like everything.
I love the name, Stonewater.
Stonewater. And right next door, they have a beautiful restaurant, so you can go and have a nice meal after
your relaxation.
Your relaxation.
Okay, so tell me now.
So your stomach can swallow everything.
Yeah, right. So tell me now.
The 40 days.
What is Lent? I don't really know because that's not part of my religion.
That's not part of my religion either. No.
So what do you know about it?
Well, I know as an Orthodox, I know in some religion, they will follow Lent for 40 days. And a lot of my patients, they will come and question me and say, well, I'm supposed to fast and give up certain thing in my meal for 40 days.
I mean, things that they like.
Things that they like, exactly. So usually what I like to tell my patient, first of all, and like the Orthodox Jewish religion and the Orthodox Christian religion, for the Muslim, for people that Hindu, people that have Orthodox belief, they will take this to heart, and they don't know how to deal with this if they have a medical condition.
Diabetes and things like that, right?
Diabetes and enlarged heart called cardiomyopathy. If you have a very, very enlarged heart, that means you laugh too hard, you can go into congestive heart failure. You go to the bathroom and you are constipated, you can go into congestive heart failure. So it's very labile, very tricky. So it is important, whether we are Orthodox or no, if we're going to follow Lent, that we keep in mind that God understands that we on earth we are imperfect. God knows that. So if you are a diabetic and you're taking medication for diabetes, you have to eat some food so you can compensate for your need as a diabetic and for the medication that you are taking. If you are going to fast, you can do it in a way that you are fulfilling the needs of the requirements of your religion, and at the same time make it worthwhile for you as a person. So let's say if you are overweight, come and see my dietitian and say, okay, I'm going to do...
Beautiful
Nicole, or you have to meet my other dietitian.
Oh, you have another one.
Yeah, Courtney and Nicole. But they are both wonderful, excellent. And come and see the dietitian and let them know, well, I'm going to go through Lent for 40 days. What is your recommendation? And I have twofold. One is the Nicole or Courtney can take you through the 40 days of Lent and say, well, maybe the best thing to give is no meat, but maybe carbohydrates. So let's go through the list of carbohydrates and let's give up carbohydrates so you can go through Lent. You can go through your fasting period for any religion. And then at the same time, you are helping yourself while pleasing the requirement of God. Then the second form of that is that a lot of people go through Lent and they are so happy. They give up meat or they give up something and they lose some weight and they are so happy. But guess what they do right after?
They go back and they eat what they did.
They bounce right back.
That's right.
They bounce right back. And that's the worst thing you can do to your body.
Why
to
is
your
that?
pancreas,
Why is that?
to your heart, because you are yo-yoing. You're teasing your heart or teasing your pancreas and say, look, I'm being a good girl or a good boy. And you are coming down with all the carbohydrate, and you go to the doctor, and the doctor say, oh, you don't need that much insulin, or you don't need that much metformin, or you don't need this. And you don't need that much blood pressure medication. So the physician, especially if they don't take, like I always say, when I'm talking to other physicians, take the biopsychosocial aspect of medicine. It's not just biologically a patient have high blood pressure and magically the blood pressure is coming down. It's something socially that they are doing that is bringing that blood pressure down. So you have to investigate as a doctor and say, why is your blood pressure going down? Maybe you are depressed. Maybe you are not eating well. No, I'm fasting for my religion. Then perfect. One of my Hindu patients, a very close family member died. So they have to fast for 13 days. So I say, okay, you're going to fast, and he's overweight. I say, let's go through a good diet. Let's see the dietitian. Let's fast. But when you finish and 13 days over, then you and I are going to work on this. Because you're going to ease back into a good diet instead of just going right back to where you were before. So that is the twofold of Lent, of any other area that you feel, that your religion require for you to fast, which, is great. Fasting is cleansing.
One day is okay. But then all the other days, they need to have supervision. That's what I'm just saying.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, sometimes I go into a 3 days, in Asian philosophy. I grew up being a Buddhist. And in Asian philosophy, we have what we call the 3-day liquid fasting. All we do is just cleanse our body drinking liquid. And
what kind of liquids?
Vodka, beer. No, just kidding.
So bad. So bad.
Wine, no. Water and stuff like that. But then after
juice?
And juices and those kind of things.
So wait, I'm not going to let you...
In Hawaii, my mom used to go and make us, with fresh pineapple and papaya and stuff like
coconut juice?
Coconut juice. And we would just, take coconut and drink them. From the tree, take them down and drink coconut.
Okay, so tell me what the benefits are of this.
In Asian philosophy, it's a cleansing period. It's every so often, every 3 months, every 4 months, every 6 months, you have to cleanse your body so that you can prepare your body for the next 3 months. So you just take and you just, stop eating any kind of solid food, and you just go through a clear liquid, nothing but clear liquid. And there are some people that are very, very orthodox in Asia and China specifically, that the only thing they will drink is water for 3 days. Just water. They will sip through water. Now, as a Taekwondo grandmaster, when I'm teaching people about Asian history and philosophy, I try to extrapolate it to today's world. We work hard. I think I have like 50-something patients scheduled for today. So if I had been going through the Lent period today, there's no way I could function and come early in the morning and do the show. So you have to extrapolate to today's world. There's a lot of demand on today's world. There's a lot of stress that we go through. So we need to take our diet and adjust it to today's living. We need to adjust our diet.
Okay, I want to go back. I'm going to hold your feet to the fire on what you're supposed to have. So
it's
you're
cold
saying,
outside.
I know it is very cold. Let's
Baby,
talk about
it is
the
cold
liquid.
outside.
It's warm in here. It's warm in here. Let's talk about the liquid diet. So we have a lot of people who are listening and they want to go on a diet.
Come and see Nicole and Connie.
But, that's true. They should. They should go and do that. But if they're now starting, they can just have all juices, whether it's tomato juice or whether it's prune juice.
Depend on their medical condition. That's why you have to talk to me or talk to the dietitian. Because if you are a diabetic, then you have some restrictions. If you have congestive heart failure, you want to avoid those tomato juices and stuff like that. Stuff that might be too heavy on you. And you want to go more. So the way I love Asian explanation more than
and I
Western.
Love Asian.
More than Western.
Yeah, I love Asian.
In Asian explanation, you take juices and everything gets put to this spectrum of colors, right? So you take all the liquids and put it through the spectrum of color, and then water is on one extreme, right? Yeah. And what will be some juice that will be really heavy? Prune juice is on toward the other extreme.
Okay. And
then everything in between. So you want to, if you want to cleanse yourself very orthodoxly, very religiously, very medicinal kind of cleansing. So you want to move toward the water side, more toward the clear liquid. So all the juices that you want to do is more on that side. And I love that explanation because it doesn't go through a lot of mumbo-jumbo because, when you go through mumbo-jumbo and stuff like that, it's hard for people to follow. I'm so happy I have my dietitians in the office, the dietary department. But I tell my patient, I give you Mencia diet for my diabetic patient. Because I say, sometimes I have a doctor sitting there, I have a lawyer sitting there, I have a professor sitting there, and you telling them about 1,800 calories a day, blah, 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 and they say, am I supposed to be counting calories now? I'm not going to do that. And I'm not going to do it either. So what I tell them is, I say, follow Mencia diet. I'm going to tell you what carbohydrates are, and you're going to cut carbohydrate by half. Because if it's a Indian person, a Nepalese person sitting there versus a person from Israel versus a person from Italy versus a person from Dominican Republic or Guatemala, Mexico, each one of those individuals have a different diet. So what I tell them, say, okay, look, carbohydrate, I'm talking to you about rice, and they write it down. Rice, pasta, bread, potato. Those are carbohydrates. And then because you are a diabetic, put on your list fruits. And because you are a diabetic, I'm sure you already know about sweet. And they say, oh my God, I thought it was only sweet. I say, no, sweet is one of them, but fruits give you sugar. So fruits are sweet. And then the carbohydrate convert into sugar. So, triglyceride and all of that. So all of these things, you cut down, and some of my patients, if you're Italian, you're going to say, oh, of course, doctore, la pasta, good, cut down the pasta. My Mexican patient, yes, doctor, the rice, cut down on the rice. So depending on the culture, all you have to recognize what the starches are. If you are a diabetic, recognize that fruits can become sweet, will become sugar in your body when it get processed. And we all know about sweet. So you take that list of products, and you'll see which one in your diet you are the one you tend to abuse the most. And by cutting that one and everything else a little bit less, you're going to accomplish a drop on your sugar sometime by 2 or 3 points on the hemoglobin A1C, which is great. There's a lot of medicine cannot do that.
But not cut it out completely. That's
No,
what you're
because,
saying,
you know,
because
when
you won't be able to do that, right?
Well, let me tell you something. We have to be realistic. How many people, because, oh my God, my sugar, instead of being 99, is now 108, so I better change my lifestyle. Nobody's going to do that. Nobody's going to change their lifestyle. Leave your lifestyle the way it is. Just cut down on things. So you just have to adjust your lifestyle. You don't have to change it.
That's really beautiful.
I mean, I think it's easy. Mencia diet is so easy.
Mencia's diet.
It's
Well, I like when you
shit.
said, but I liked what you said, the spectrum of colors.
The spectrum of
But
color.
that doesn't have to do with food. It's just liquids.
Of course, you have to do with food also. You have to do with many things.
Spectrum of
The spectrum
colors.
of color in love.
Oh, that's true. And in ties, men's ties, you have big spectrum of color in your ties. But let's just go back to someone who wants to now go on a 3-day liquid diet.
Mm-hmm.
So water.
But before we leave for the diabetic patient.
Yeah, the diabetic, because
Now, with sweet, what I tell my diabetic patient, if you're going to have sweet, if you have, and I ask them sometimes, if you're going to have dessert, what would be your choice? After breakfast, after lunch, or after dinner? What would be your choice?
I mean, what I would want, of course, is usually I don't want anything till after dinner. But you're probably telling me I should have it during the day. I can hear it.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'd rather you have it after breakfast or lunch.
Because
If
it
you have to-
absorbs through then?
You are active. You're going to burn those calories. They're going to go away.
But most people don't have desserts
They have
in the
dessert
morning.
at
They have it
night,
at night.
and then they go to sleep, and the body is absorbing all those calories and having fun.
So wait.
And
This is very important. I never heard this before. So you're saying when you have things like that at night and you go to sleep, your body then takes it in where if during the day it's working and getting rid of
You
it.
want to lose weight, whether you are a diabetic or not, you want to lose weight, stop eating dessert at night for a month or two and watch yourself go, watch your weight move down.
So maybe you shouldn't be having a big meal at night either. Maybe
You are
we
not
should have.
supposed to. That in Europe is the other way around. We eat like a king. They say for breakfast. You have to eat a heavy breakfast, a mild lunch, and eat like a homeless for dinner. You're supposed to have a little bit. Usually, my dinner consists of I go to PDQ, which is a great place, and or I go to Burger Fi, and I get a veggie burger, and that's my dinner. That's it.
And is health wise? Is this healthy to do it that way?
Well, you have to eat during the day, of course.
That's what I'm saying. So you really should have
because your body, Okay, let me put it to you this way, Anita. Let me put your feet on the fire now.
Ouch.
Ouch. If you're taking your car, your Jaguar, and you're gonna drive from here to Orlando, how much gas are you gonna put in the tank?
You're going to fill it up.
You're going to fill it up. But if you're going from here home and you have half a tank, are you going to go and fill it up before you go home? No, it's right there. You live right there. So why are you going to fill it up? So you're going to bed. Why are you filling up your tank? To go to bed.
Never thought about this, Dr. Mencia. What wonderful advice. So our dinners, but you know what happens in our society.
That's why obesity. That's why in this country we have so much obesity.
Yeah.
2 factors. Number 1, the pattern of consumption. Number 2, the level of stress.
This is fantastic. Okay, wait. I got to write this down. The pattern of consumption. That's very good.
And
then
the level of stress.
And then the level of stress.
We are a stressful society.
Yes.
I tell you, when my daughter was born, she's now 16. I say, okay, come on, get up, get ready to go to work.
Right, exactly.
Just kidding.
No, exactly.
No, but
getting
we put
her
a
ready.
lot, you get a lot of demand put on you.
Yes.
You know, we live a life of a lot of demand. We have to follow the Jones, and we want the kids to do, you know, not to their maximum, but to the maximum what somebody else is doing. And, you know, we live stress and we accept it. That's the problem. That's the big problem. Living under stress, accepting stress as a norm.
Amazing. I have so much to
We
talk
have
to you
to give
about.
that phone
But let me
number.
give you your
We
phone number.
forgot
Phone number.
everything.
I know we forget everything we're doing. It's
And we are
954.
open on Saturdays.
Oh, that's really true. And we do home visits.
And we do home
really
visits.
important. 954-489-1345. 954-489-1345. You know, the reason we do this radio show is that Dr. Mencia can really inform you of so many things that you'd never hear, you'd never read, and he does it in such a very easy to understand way. I've always kidded him about that. He takes, just like he says about filling up your car with gas, filling up your body with food. Most doctors don't talk like that, but that's what makes him very special. And so we do appreciate his being here every Saturday morning. He is the founder and the director of the Adult and Geriatric Medical Center. They are located at 1608 East Commercial Boulevard. I will warn you, once you go to see him and have him as a doctor, you'll never leave. I mean, he is just really special, and his whole staff are the same way. Let's get back to something, though, you said. And you see, we all are working, and at night is when we come together, and that's why we have the big meal. So what can we do
Spend more
to
time
alleviate
together.
that? Well,
Spend
that's
more-
hard when you have a
divert.
job.
You have to divert. Well, no, but you still, I mean, spend more time together with the family, talk, play, you know.
Okay,
do
but
things
wait,
like that,
what I was thinking
you
about.
know.
So what we could do is when we're out, we could have a larger meal during the day, but even with our spouse or with our friends, we could just have a lighter meal
All right,
at night.
of course.
I don't
I
think
mean,
anybody's
healthy.
really explained what you just
Yeah.
did here.
And, you know, we should eat healthy at night, you know. And, you know, I'm not too judgmental on my daughters when I take them out to eat whatever they want to eat. But I tell you, my 14-year-old girl, she's skinny mama
She's
like
very
this,
skinny.
like
she
a
is.
model.
And is that because
And
she's...
sometimes she would go, and I took her the other day to a nice restaurant, the W Hotel. Very nice. What is it? 954, something like that. Nice restaurant, steakhouse. She ordered this steak like 8 ounces. I said, there's no way this girl is going to eat that. But I didn't. I left her alone. We are eating and what have you. And she ate the whole thing. I'm waiting for her to leave some so I can eat. There was no left. She ate it all the way down to the bone.
So how is she skinny then?
Because she has a fast metabolism. She's very active. She rides her horses. She's equestrian.
Yeah.
They always exercising. That, you know, they are both black belts in Taekwondo. So they are very active. They are very disciplined. And she eats like me. You know, when I'm eating, I take the fat out of, you know, I dissect. I become a surgeon.
Do you really?
Oh, yes. I remove the fat out of my steak and everything, and I eat just the lean meat. And I try not to eat red meat. I'm more in the vegetarian side, in that spectrum. I'm more in the vegetarian side. And then if I eat meat, I eat white meat. It's healthier. So usually you see me eating chicken or turkey, salmon. I eat salmon a lot. It's good for the good cholesterol, the salmon, because it's rich in omega 3 and 9. So I eat a lot of salmon. With the salmon, you just have to make sure that it's not farm. That's
right.
Wild. That's
Always
wild
by
salmon.
wild. Everything wild. We like wild,
Yeah,
don't we? Yeah, wild's
you
better.
Wild thing.
So if nothing else from this show this morning, I think something that I know I've just now learned, the pattern of consumption is extremely important.
Right.
Try to eat your larger meals during the day, and at night have that salad with just a little something. Don't eat your desserts at night. Eat them during the day. We've learned a lot of things. This is very helpful to me. And especially if you're a diabetic or you have any problem, you need to go to see Dr. Mencia's dietitian so that they can help you through whether you're going through Lent or you're just wanting to cut down. If you want a 3-day, take the 3-day, what do we call it, a 3-day fast? Okay, we're not, doesn't mean you don't have anything to eat.
No.
Doesn't mean you don't have anything to eat. It just means that what you eat is done very carefully with thought, and that you go from the water, which is clear, And does that include consommé? Can we have
Oh, yes,
consommé?
yes,
Because that's
absolutely.
clear.
Like the chicken broth.
Yes,
yes,
right.
absolutely.
So we're going to go from very light to then darker,
To
where
the
it comes
darker,
up to
right.
prune juice.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, and just before we leave this, I have to tell you the prunes are really working. We buy these gorgeous, fresh, organic prunes, and Bill it's just been wonderful.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And it's all natural.
And it's very sweet. You know,
Yes,
it's
yeah.
also if you like. You know, if you want to you have a sweet tooth, you can have a prune.
Exactly.
And it absolutely
Exactly.
satisfies your.
Exactly.
You are one heck of a doctor, I have to tell you. You're just, everyone should be going to you.
And if they want more, they can have a little mango.
You can't buy mango now.
Yeah.
No, you have to buy it frozen and then keep it frozen.
There's some place in the world that must have a mango.
Well, they
I'm
have
just kidding.
mangoes.
I'm just
But
joking.
there are mangoes here. It's
Like,
just not the
there's
same as
some-
the mango season.
My uncle says, somewhere in the world it's 5 o'clock now. Happy hour time.
That's what your uncle says. That's what happened to you. You were brought up by very, very interesting people. Well, Dr. Mencia, I know you're going to go to the office now because you have Saturday hours over there at Adult Geriatric, and but just make sure that you read the article coming up in the March issue about home visits. We don't want anybody to be home and feeling, and not getting any attention.
Absolutely.
And it is a real epidemic.
And they deserve the same level of care that people that are able to come to an office.
Yes. And I was really happy about that article because it's everywhere and nobody understands. Everyone just has that poor person at home.
And there's a lot of people that see it as a business. And you have to be careful. You have to be a smart consumer that people are not just, showing up and not really taking good care of you.
Right. You need to have there needs to be a medical practitioner in charge. That's the big thing. Dr. Mencia, we did it again. We thank you very much. Go have a great
hit it out
day.
of the park.
Yeah, thank you. Well, you helped me personally. I'm listening to a lot of the things that you said about this. I think I will work on that.
I'm listening to myself sometimes.
Right. We both listen to ourselves so much.
If we listen to ourselves more, we will be millionaires. You know that?
Yeah, well, you are. You're a millionaire in many ways, and
yes.
everyone who touches you becomes a millionaire, I have to tell you, in many ways.
Have a wonderful Saturday.
Thank you. The same to you. And we are going to be talking to A.J. Acker very soon. We're just going to go to a commercial and be right back. Thanks for listening to The Wonderful World of Wellness with Dr. Andy Mencia. Be sure to tune in each Saturday morning from 7 to 7:30 right here on WSBR 740 AM.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.